Okay, the informal meeting of City Commission's called to order. Cindy Mullet.
Minutes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Keontra Mays, Miko Taborn, Randy William Graham Jr., Chris Lieberoff, Clifton James Cumming, Spencer Sharp, Ray Eastep, Roderick L. Fudd, Tiffany A. Higgins, Richard Howard, Edward Ellington, Richard Bell, Shaheem Gibson, Michael Mentor, Rakeem Ford, Gregory Allen Wells, Kyle M. Harris, James Gillum, Raquel Fowler, Thomas Gill, Daryl Stamper, Kevin Bateau, Tamisha Reed, Darian Welliford, Joshua Tackett, Melvin Lee Bell Jr., Gary Strode, Camille Golden, Brett Love, Antoine Crooks, Philip Riggle, Kashayla Collins, Nevaeh Stewart, Thomas Arnell Stewart, Chad Everett Bent, Nathan Zimmerman, Tyler Fullen, Kane Thompson, Austin Brown, Dalton Mincer, Christy Lally, Corey Hazlett, Stephen Wagner, Antonio Moore, Gary Cameron, Howard Edley, Scott Williams, Kareem Beard, Cedric Holt Jr., Andrea Heiser, Jennifer Sirens, Lindsay Marsh, Lindsay Wilson, Colby Etherington, Joshua Smith, William Allen Beverly Jr., Joshua Brown, Robert Robinson, Anthony Tolliver, James White, Brandon DeArmond, Jeffrey Wright, Lacey Henry, Melody Turner, Timothy French, Mark Wells, Kathy Evans, Byron Michael Lawson, Candace Prutney, Shaquan Newby, Charles Murph, Travis Feaster, William Haney, James Mundy, James Rupert, Marquis Whaley, Aiden William Johnson, Dalen Johnson, George Walker, Jeff Wellington, Eric Wheeler, Skylar Mullet, Ernest Edwards, Barry Davis, Chris DeArmond Sr. That's not just 120. That's all I got to give you in 30 or 3 minutes. Those are the names of the victims that have fallen to gun violence in Springfield, Ohio, and we ask that you help us.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm gonna start now. And I'm gonna follow up after Sydney as she just read those names. I just took a moment to be quiet because all those names that she wrote, as she said, their voices had been silent by gun violence. And there's still countless more to even name. I just want to speak on the things that we're doing to fight the violence here in the community. There's a lot of organizations that are doing things. I have a program going on up the street, working with the youth from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. And I'm going to continue it to make it happen even through the school year because I know the continual effort pouring into them can change their lives. And I already been seeing their lives change. But let me tell y'all something. There's no one effort that can change this fight. This is a marathon. So for everybody that keeps saying there's gun violence, quit saying something and do something about it. Whether you do something in some way or another, get out there and try and do something to combat the violence. And that's all that we ask. So I continue to go around to these organizations in the community that are doing stuff. This Saturday, we have a gun violence walk along with a community appreciation day. And it's just to give the community something to feel joyful about, but also we're going to honor those that we have lost and that we are continuing to still lost. I know that we keep talking about the funding. Man, the funding can't change the community. It's going to take the community to change the community. The last 5 words in community is unity. So come together and stand alongside or stand behind or whatever the case may be, but stand with people that are fighting the fight and quit talking about it. I've been hearing this all over the country. If you're not doing nothing about it, then just stay out the way. And for the last meeting for the media saying that I was competing, there's too much crime to be competing. There's enough crime that we can all fight this battle together.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jen Castro, and I'm a local organizer and activist here in Springfield. First, I'd like to take a moment to thank Mayor Rue and the City Commissioners for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. As you just heard from Sydney and Dion, our city has suffered decades of loss due to gun violence, and it continues. Just last night, another person was shot. This ongoing crisis makes it clear the current strategies are not working. To bring attention to this urgent issue that has claimed so many lives and devastated countless families, we're organizing our third End Gun Violence March this Saturday, July 19th at noon. We will gather at the main entrance of Davie Moore Park at 600 Southwestern Avenue and walk through the surrounding neighborhoods. Afterwards, there will be a free community event also at Davie Moore Park from 1 to 4 p.m. with food, music, face painting, a live performance, and more. With each march, more people join us in this fight for change. We are especially grateful for Dion Green, CEO and founder of the Fudge Foundation, whose tireless efforts have been vital to this work. We invite everyone to join us on this Saturday. In recent city commission meetings, I've heard frustration about the perception that nothing is being done to address gun violence in Springfield. Let's look at the reality. Springfield has around 130 police officers and Clark County has around 117 deputies, serving a city population of about 58,000 and a county population of roughly 135,000. This means there are approximately 546 residents for every officer. The numbers speak for themselves. Our police force cannot and should not shoulder this responsibility alone. True change starts with our collective commitment. At the last meeting on July 1st, a middle school teacher shared a powerful statement, quote, "My students know how to handle a gun before they can write a compound sentence," end quote. Let that sink in. Schools should be safe havens for our children, not places where they learn to fear violence. There was an offer at the state level to bring in additional help, essentially meaning more police. But we must recognize that we cannot solve gun violence by adding more guns. Real lasting change starts with investing in our youth. Programs like the summer camp run by Dion Green at South Center Street provide critical support, mentorship, and positive alternatives. When we address risk factors and offer resources, we empower our young people to make better choices. If we truly care, we must take action. Join our monthly marches, support organizations like the Fudge Foundation through donations or volunteering. I understand that local government funding is limited, especially after the federal government recently cut $1.2 million or 77% from a Department of Justice grant to prevent community violence. Yet at the state level, $600 million was allocated from unclaimed funds to build a new Brown Stadium in Cleveland. Imagine what an impact that money could have had if invested in violence prevention and community support across cities like ours. Springfield deserves better. Our youth deserve better. Let's come together and take meaningful steps to create a safer, stronger community for everyone. Thank you.
So, you know what I'm here for, the gun violence. Here for the gun violence. Seems like somebody's getting shot between every time we meet up, you know what I'm saying? Last week, or the week before last, y'all was talking about y'all was going to meet up or whatever. And I didn't hear Dion Green's name in that meeting. You know what I'm saying? First, I want to say shout out to the police, though, but they can't stop the gun violence. You get what I'm saying? We really got to, it's a marathon, like he said, and we really got to get in the way of these kids is thinking. And I see it every day. I work down there at the place, and I see it every day. These kids come in, they lost. We only been in there about a month, and they whole way of changing. Imagine if you did that all year. You get what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's really, really crazy. Last week I had 2 weeks ago, I had a math problem about, how many lost, but my phone had died, so I'm gonna go over it again. 1 body gone, 1 shooter now in the system, 2 mothers grieving, 4 parents hurting, 10 plus family members affected, 30 friends scarred, 100 community members traumatized, 1 whole future never lived, babies that might never be born, and 1 retaliation waiting to happen. It's probably on an innocent person because that person's locked up. So it's a cycle, and it needs to start with these youth and the way of they thinking. These kids grow up with no father figure. Mom is out doing whatever she's doing, might be raised by their grandparents. They can't keep up with them. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knows how to stop this gun violence, but it's common sense. If you change, they're getting younger and younger and younger. And they're at that camp. You know what I mean? His camps that he has, they're there. You get what I'm saying? And they're changing. I heard him say the rock garden. We done went to the rock garden. They at the farm. They at the Peace Museum. Peace Museum, the only one in America. They there. And they're seeing new things, and we're opening up their mind. You know what I'm saying? Dion is teaching them how to think, though, with the mental health. Like, this is big. So if we really, 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 really want to try to change this, we got to start with the youth. Got to start with Dion Green. That's been working and knowing. One youth, I just want to say this real quick. 1 youth that was in the trouble. You got to hear a song. All his pain is in his song that he is now on YouTube, and now he has a whole new outlook of life. You know what I mean? He wants to be somebody now. Let's take care of our youth. Thank you.
Thank you. That is the end of our comment time. Just want to say to all those that were the citizens are speaking out on gun violence, and those that are here representing programs and efforts to speak to our youth. I truly appreciate that. I have visited a couple of camps myself, and I just see the heart in the eyes of those kids. That they don't want to do what they've seen, and I have seen that. And I just appreciate the fathers and the mothers that are trying to step in and grab a bunch of kids and embrace them. I've seen that, and I appreciate it. There's several fathers that I've seen just kind of jump in, and I appreciate their efforts. I really do. And I appreciate the names even being read tonight, and just remembering the names of the lost lives, because it's important that the names are said and that memory is alive. There's other comments. I know Brian will have answers to Ms. Clara's question. I know the commissioners want to speak as well. So why don't we go ahead and
to go out there. I do appreciate the thoughtfulness and the meaning and purpose behind, number one, sharing the names of the folks and the gun violence moment that we took in the moment of silence. I lost a daughter, so I really take this stuff seriously. I do want to say, in regards to guns, because we have now talked about it a few times up here, I stand that guns are more available today to purchase than they were then when I was younger. They're more accessible to get, and there is a culture of normalizing them. There's an evolution of youth being willing to risk it all, meaning going into the mental health issues. So I do appreciate that folks come out and talk about our community to us, but it is a very big, complex issue. I believe all of the commissioners would love to eradicate gun violence, and so would the chief and both of our chiefs there. So I encourage you to keep bringing us resources, keep bringing us ideas and things that you're hearing out there. We are more than willing to listen and see what we can do from this seat, this position. We need all the positions above us to get into the game, right?
Spend it in other places. They have different priorities. And as they said in their letter to OIC, this is not a priority, youth gun violence. So if you want to make yourself heard that youth gun violence is a priority and needs to be a priority, please go to our website or go on the web and get the name of our Congressman, Mike Turner, and for some who live outside of Springfield, Mike Carey, and write to them at the U.S. House of Representatives. Also our two senators, Senator Husted and Senator Bernie Moreno. If you truly believe that youth gun violence needs a priority, they need to hear it because they haven't heard it up to this point. They have certainly made other things a priority. And in terms of the availability of guns, we control nothing to do with that. That's controlled by the federal government and by the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio passed the laws that said we're open carry.
Diane?
Thank you, Diane. I'm glad you support my position.
Please stop. Please stop. Thank you, Diane. Okay. Thank you, Diane.
The state of Ohio passed the open gun law. And I think we ought to be looking at, since they passed the law, is this state a safer place? Because I don't think it is.